alaikum wa rahmatullah. We on? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Nadeem Mazen. I am a city councilor in Cambridge, Massachusetts, the home of Harvard, the home of MIT, and the home of the same type of social inequity that we have all over this great nation. I do not come here to start this speech with a reminder about how Muslims' contributions to this country are essential. And I will not, for the umpteenth time, enumerate the ways, nor will I waste my valuable airtime again as a proud Muslim to paint you a detailed picture of deep Muslim American patriotism and poetic culture. Just to have some talking head arbiter of newsworthy tell me I'm one of the good ones. I will not, as politicians sleepily do, tell you an anecdote about Jamil Smith in Detroit, nor Aisha Abdurrahman in Boston. Let's talk about where we're at and where we're going as Americans and as American Muslims. In my hometown of Cambridge, Massachusetts, we have seen 2 decades of rising housing prices literally tearing our communities further apart from one another. And it's not just displacement, because while our urban brothers and sisters are paying 1/2 of their wages to rent, I hear stories about how my parents paid 1/4 of their wages to own equity, to own something, to grow something in this country just a generation ago. And our politicians aren't talking much about urban housing on the federal level. They aren't talking much about meaningful educational reform in a country where your parents' income still defines your economic potential and your educational access. My city, Cambridge, is the seat of academic biotech and software excellence. It's a world capital for innovation. And all the while, 50% of public school children who are living in Cambridge at or near the poverty line are also living in the literal shadow of Google and Microsoft, of Biogen and Novartis, of MIT and Harvard. They are defined in their potential and in their dreams, not by what they have in their hearts and in their minds, but what their parents have in their pockets. Do you think this housing crisis, this economic injustice, this educational inequity, these aren't coming soon to your city, to Chicago, to San Francisco, to Boston, DC, and New York? These issues are already here. And they loom large. Youth, today, out here in the audience, you will find that the American dream is a steeper climb today, statistically speaking, than it was for your parents. So let's plan. What are Muslims to do amidst the violence that our criminal justice system does to black men and to families? Amidst the stark inequality, economic and educational, amidst special interests acting against the public good, who by planning and with planning secure access. With access, they lay their hands on the levers of power. Our power, your power, and your God-given right. We and the rest of America will wage a non-violent jihad. The streets will be bathed in ink. We will bring the pointed pens and the sharpest minds. We will build training camps, job training camps for adults and software development camps for kids. We will flex our muscles in the climb uphill to achieve equity and opportunity for all Americans. And how will we do this? What is my jihad? This struggle is to serve more and to serve better. For we are teachers and lawyers, we are activists and politicians. We seek a voice towards goodness and unity. We are economists and business people who will put themselves forward for the needs of the working class first. The mom and pop business first. The small business, and I'm not talking about the government definition of 5,000 people or less, the truly small business first. The high school entrepreneur. For we are social services and we are civil liberties organizations who brandish the Constitution and the video camera. And with the Constitution, we have a benchmark for future success, and with our cameras, we have the evidence of how far we have yet to go. The most dangerous thing you can do today is to invest in just one man or one woman to secure your future. Whether that person is Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, or even if that person is your own self, solo. Got about 2 minutes. I told him I'd be 5 over, I'm sorry. We must invest in service, in community, in vigilance against all forms of trickle-down economics. In the housing market where I pay half of my wages to a wealthy landlord rather than establishing a co-op, or where we bail out our economy from the top rather than the bottom. And one last thing. There are those valiant leaders in our community who say we must not apologize when forbidden acts, violent acts are committed in our names. We must not spend valuable time apologizing when the country is not listening, when journalists are more likely to drive ratings with shock jock skepticism than to bring honest consideration. Those folks are right. However, we must still serve on the TV. We must still serve on the airwaves. We must bring the only thing, the only resource we have, knowledge of what we are and what we can be as a community, and we must continue to show up in protest or in planning, in punditry, because that is the resource and the service goal that we have. There is hate out there. No man and no woman has to apologize for the actions of his brother or sister, let alone a deranged stranger. But a new industry of fear-mongering, deceit, insinuation, and hate exists out there for us today. Jihad means struggle. It is my word. It is my word to define as a spiritual struggle against injustice. Islam is my pen and my service. It is my shield and my plan. I will not allow any bigot to take my words that I define, and tarnish my way of life as an American. We will not allow this as a community, the Muslim community and our allies, and we will not be distracted by a narrative that is drawn out around us, about us, and for us. So take heed, you politicians moving up the ladder to self-service with naked ambition. Beware those corporations that publish glossy corporate social responsibility manuals with one hand while lobbying to pay less back and give less back with the other. And find yourself, you celebrity journalists and you celebrity personalities, being asked to act bigotry on the airwaves and on the news channels. For we are coming to your playground to win with nonviolence, persistence, service, and sharpness.